Hey everybody, welcome to Motivated to Heal Success Stories. I'm Sandy, I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and today I have my client Jenny here who is going to share her story with you to hopefully give you some hope and inspiration that it is possible to heal naturally. So hi Jenny, thanks for coming on.
Hi Sandy, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm really excited that you're gonna share your story with us. So why don't we get right into it? Before we met, which was now quite a few years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I'm really
Two.
bad with time, 2 years
That's
ago.
two.
So before we met, why don't you take us through what happened with your health issues and just tell your story.
Sure. So yeah, before I met Sandy, life wasn't all that great. I've always had sensitive skin. I think it kind of comes with being a redhead. Um, but whenever I started college, I started getting really bad acne, some of which was cystic, and I didn't handle it well. It lowered my self-esteem and my confidence, and basically I just went to school and the grocery store and spent the rest of my time in my room at my apartment. And I tried, different topical medications, and none of it worked. And eventually I got put on Accutane, which cleared up the acne pretty well, but it started my rosacea. And at first, my flares only occurred whenever I would shower, but eventually they got worse and worse, and they occurred more frequently over time. And I was on topical medication for it, which helped when a flare occurred, but it didn't prevent them from occurring. So I was still frustrated and trying to do, research to get to the core reason why it was happening versus just masking the symptom. And I read online that gluten can cause rosacea. So I went on a gluten-free diet, and miraculously that cleared up my rosacea within about a week. And unfortunately, this didn't last only about a few months. And then I started having skin issues again. It came back a little differently. It was just kind of like little splotches on my face. It started like if I would lie down, that would occur. It was kind of weird. So I wasn't even sure if it was rosacea this time around. I started looking into other skin diseases and going to many different dermatologists and trying different medications. A lot of them thought that it was contact dermatitis. So I was trying medications for that, and I ended up getting patch tested, which showed that I was, allergic to some things, but they were uncommon ingredients anyways, and eliminating them didn't do anything. I went to a gastroenterologist once I read that Sibo can cause rosacea. So I got tested for Sibo, which I was positive for, and I went on 2 rounds of antibiotics like in a row for it, and that didn't work. And then another point later on, I did go on another round of antibiotics for it just to try it again. Also didn't work, didn't help my rosacea or my Sibo. So after going on, just talking to different doctors, trying different medications, none of which worked. I also was reading about different diets because the gluten-free diet had worked before. So I tried so many different elimination diets, probably for over a year, which none made a difference. And then I kind of was going on my last resort and started Accutane again, which, because apparently it can, at a low dose, is supposed to help rosacea, which was really, I must have been really desperate because I thought and still do think that the first round of Accutane triggered my rosacea in the first place. And I know how bad it is for your body, but I was very desperate because I had been to a ton of doctors and thought I had tried everything and none of it was working. But I was only on it for about 3, maybe 4 weeks when my mom found this holistic doctor that lived near us. Apparently her friend started or saw him like years back, and he had helped her with her acne. And at this point, I had developed other issues as well. My skin issues were my main concern because that was the big one that really stopped me from living my life. But I also had stomach pain, bloating, gas, bathroom issues, sleeping issues, severe depression, and I hadn't had a period in months. And then, of course, my skin issues, which at this time had gotten a lot worse. My flares would kind of constitute my whole face. It would all be really red, or sometimes it would just concentrate on my nose, and then sometimes it would just be my nose and then spread to my cheeks. My ears would flare, and my hands and feet would as well. And the flaring was, really red, hot, and I could like feel my skin pulsating. So it was obviously extremely uncomfortable, but it was also um, unattractive and embarrassing. So this kind of led to even lower self-esteem and confidence, and I ended up sheltering myself in my room. I pretty much spent all my time and sitting in my dark room on my bed in front of my air conditioner, which I had to buy an air conditioner because that was the only way I could stay even sort of comfortable. And of course, my parents were not comfortable or okay with me like freezing the entire house out. Um, and at this time, well, I was living at home, like I said, because when my flares started kind of getting bad, I was just finishing up my final semester of undergrad, and was I got through it, even though that was hard. And I started skipping classes because I was depressed and embarrassed because I would flare up in class. And a few months before that, I had gotten accepted to grad school, so I was planning to start that the next fall. But due to the continuing progression of my skin issues and the low self-esteem, that didn't end up happening. So, like I said, I was at home, just living my life in my room, kind of unhealthy behavior. I would eat all my meals by myself in my room. If I would go downstairs for like 5 minutes, my face would feel uncomfortable and start to react. And this, of course, led to a strain on my relationship with my parents too, because they, didn't know how to help because I don't know, we all kind of felt a little helpless. But of course, I was always still very grateful that they were there, and supported me financially and all that. So, yeah, that was my life when I started seeing this holistic doctor. He seemed very nice and determined to help me. He was very reassuring that he could help my skin issues and that he's helped people with my issues in the past. But over the months, I wasn't getting any results. He put me on a lot of supplements and told me that I had candida, which I'm pretty sure he told every patient of his that he had candida. And also, I had some other fungus, and basically, he just put me on a insane amount of supplements. Didn't even try to like get me started on them progressively, just kind of all at once. And then going on this candida diet just did not sit well with my body. So I started feeling worse. I was nauseous, and my bathroom issues got much worse. And he just kind of told me to go slower with the diet and that it was just die off. But after seeing him for months and getting no results and actually feeling worse, I felt, pretty depleted. But one positive thing about finding him was that he did open me up to this holistic, natural healing world. And through my constant research, I ended up finding your group, your Facebook group. And I knew immediately that, you seemed awesome. And I asked you some questions. I read that you did the same gut test that I had already gotten done with this holistic doctor. And when I asked you about it, you said that I needed a biofilm buster because these little critters can hide in the biofilms and they won't show up on the test. And then we also talked about the Dutch test. And at this point, I had not had a period in 8 months. And at 23 years old, that's not normal. It was obviously something was going on with my hormones. And this holistic doctor agreed. And he just had me run a normal hormone panel through my family doctor. And though that showed that my hormones were completely fine. And so it was just like, oh, no, you're fine. And I was like, no, I don't think so. So after talking to you, I went back to him, asked him about redoing the gut test with the biofilm buster and also getting the Dutch test, to which both he said was not necessary. Didn't need the biofilm, and that the Dutch test was a waste of money. So after that, I was pretty much done with him and decided to move forward with you, Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
And started working together in January of 2017. So just over, I guess that's 2 years ago now. Yeah.
2017? Oh, it's 2019. I missed a year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's all a blur. No, I had to think back to it. Yeah, so 2017, and we redid the gut test with the biofilm buster, and of course that showed a lot more to work with. I'm sure it was all gibberish to me. And then did the Dutch test as well, and that showed that my female sex hormones were in the postmenopausal range, which is insane at 23. But after being on your protocol for only 2 weeks, I got my period back, which was awesome in a way. But
in a way,
yeah, didn't super miss it, but kind of important.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then not long after that, I started noticing changes in my flares. I remember this one time being downstairs. There was some mess on the carpet. I don't remember what happened, but I was scrubbing it. And normally, like, exerting that sort of energy would have caused like a huge flare.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and especially being like downstairs and like not in my air conditioned room. I got so excited, and yeah, I remember I messaged you. I was super happy. It was the first time in years that I actually found someone that had made me see some improvement, and so I finally had some hope.
Yeah, and I remember when you came too, he also did an oats test with you, and he gave you like no protocol, and then my protocol was like 2 pages.
A lot.
Like, what the heck?
And I wanted the oats test for oxalates too, and I remember he didn't even send me the whole results. Like he left out that page too, and I was like, I wanted the HOT test for the oxalates, and then your test showed, I think, that I had like high oxalates and like needed to work on that. And he was just like, oh no, your oxalates are fine. It's like, okay. No.
It's like your period. You don't need that.
Yeah. No, exactly.
You're mad, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for you, you were probably to this date one of my most driven clients. Like, you hit your protocol, I'd be like, Jenny, just start really slow, introduce one at a time. And you're like, I took them all. She's like, I don't care about die-off. I will get through this. I want to get Not that I recommend this, but
no.
Jenny flew through your protocol so fast. I'm like, when I was like setting the bar for my coaching, I'm like, I know this isn't normal. Most people are gonna take a lot longer than what you did, but you really flew through everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was determined, and I just wanted to get better. I didn't. I'm a very impatient person. I didn't want to wait and take like one at a time, get to the full dose, and then start another one. I was just like, nope. If I feel like crap, that's okay. I'll just lay in bed, get through it.
I'm in bed anyway. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't doing anything anyways.
Yeah, I seem to remember you are an Aries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense to you? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of Aries in my life, and they all are a little bit impatient.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously you're not at home right now, not in a room, in a dark room.
No.
Hang on. What happened?
Well, I got better. Like you said, I persevered. I followed all your protocols to a T because I was determined to get better. And I had a lot of faith in you, especially after seeing such positive changes very quickly. So and seeing these changes and doing the mindset work that you suggested, which, you know, was kind of difficult at first.
Yes.
My
That was
confidence.
me.
Yeah. It was necessary. That was hard though. Like when you have such
Yeah.
low self-esteem, doing that stuff is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it definitely made a difference because, you know, my confidence and my happiness increased, and I, you know, started getting out, having a little bit of a social life back home. And then eventually this, you know, led to me starting grad school. So I started grad school a little over a year ago now. So back in January of 2018. Yeah, I'm here with my own apartment, not at home, not in my room, and I actually have a social life, not hiding myself. And there was a time I thought I could never live without my AC, but I haven't used it since I moved here. And I have a lot more confidence, and I'm so happy just to have my life back, and my depression and my sleeping issues are gone. And I actually even started working out again. And I can honestly say that this is the first time that I've ever worked out and actually enjoy it, which is awesome because that's kind of all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Well, not all I've ever wanted, but when you work
A big
out,
one.
you want to enjoy
Yeah.
it. Like you don't stick with it if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
I know that I'm really proud of you for coming on live. Well, we're not live, but it will be live. We're gonna put it out there.
Make it.
But yeah, we're gonna make it live. But I am really proud of you, and really do appreciate you coming and sharing your story. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even doing this is a huge step for me, and just I don't like public speaking or anything like that, and that always used to terrify me, and my face would get so red. And then being in grad school, doing presentations is a huge part of it, and I've gotten so much better at it. I don't really, sometimes I might get a little red, but like most of the time I don't, and I don't like lose sleep over it anymore. It's all around better, just skin and confidence. So
Awesome.
it's awesome.
All right. Well, you're still in the Facebook group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, I just don't really look at it that much.
No, I know. It's funny when you're sick, you're on the internet, and then we want to get you back to life sooner. And I normally have a lot of my clients pull out of the Facebook groups, try to find some passion. But once you've got your life back, you don't sit there looking at the forums. But are you okay with people messaging you in the group?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect.
If I have any questions or anything,
I'll tag you in this post.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely not a problem because honestly, I couldn't recommend working with you enough after going through, you know, so many doctors and even a holistic doctor. Just no one gave me any results except you.
Yay! Yeah, well, and I'm really happy that I could be of help, because every time I see you post your pictures and you're outside and you're so beautiful and you're having so much fun, I start tearing up, and that could be the hormones.
I know I don't even post that much to Facebook. It's my mom doing it all too, because I think, you know, my relationship with my parents is a lot better now too, and they're, you know, overjoyed to see me, you know, having, you know, a life and being happy here. So, you know, I'll keep them in the loop, send them pictures, and then my mom's always like, "Can I post this on Facebook?"
Thank you in it. And everybody else.
Okay, Mom. Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. Too funny. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again. So if anybody is interested in coaching, you can go to www.motivatedtoheal.com. Go and work with me and check out my coaching packages. If you're interested in working with me, just sign up for a free health assessment, and we can see if we're a good fit. All right, Jenny. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.